Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela, and I just wanted to come to you with a very quick and short message. It's my little bitty part of a tribute to the wonderful and great Nelson Mandela, whom the world is saying goodbye to at this time. I wanted to share with you that as a doctorate student, I had the opportunity to travel to South Africa. With a group of fellow doctorate students from different disciplines. They were not all psychologists like me or working to be psychologists like me, from various different interest levels and majors. But a group of us traveled to South Africa, and we had a chance to see so much of it that I think that perhaps if we were quote unquote just tourists, we may not have been able to access. But because we went as part of the university, we were able to see everything from Soweto. We went to Soweto. We went to Soweto. We stayed in Johannesburg. Did not go to Cape Town, but in Soweto we had a chance to visit with some of the citizens, the people who live there. Went to the shanty towns, and if you're not familiar with what those are sort of makeshift little towns, little areas where people, they're called shanty because people literally live in little shacks that they put together for shelter. And the people, many of them did not speak English, but they were so warm and welcoming, and were excited for us to come in and see their homes where they lived. Many of them did live their whole lives in 1 to 2 rooms, everything from eating, sleeping, all of it, and with whole families. So it was really quite eye-opening and quite humbling, I must say, for I think all of us that went. And then at the other end of the spectrum, we had the opportunity to visit the ANC, the African National Congress, which of course Nelson Mandela helped to found. We missed him by 1 day, and I remember we were I was feeling disappointed, but not super disappointed, because we did have a chance to meet with so many, or at least several, of his fellow warriors in the struggle for freedom against apartheid, women and men, and just talking with them and standing in their presence was, wow, it was just, it was awe-inspiring. So this happened for me, it was in my 20s, my late 20s. I was very blessed to meet my goal of becoming a doctor by the age of 30. That was my goal, and I was blessed to do that with support from my family, my then boyfriend, now husband, Richard, and others who helped me do that. So I did many of these travels, like I said, in my late 20s, and still I really wanted to make sure that even though I was a young lady, that I, as much as possible, could take in all that I was being exposed to at that time that was going on. It was, like I say, very humbling, very awe-inspiring. One particular episode stood out for me, and I wrote about this on my Facebook page, and that is a colleague, friend, and classmate of mine. She and I visited a record store while we were there, and we were talking to a gentleman in the store, and he was going on and on about how the South Africans, many of them, watched the civil rights struggles that we had here in our country as black folks struggling for our rights. And he talked about how the fact that if we could do it as a 10 to 12% minority and win our rights and get laws changed in this country, then it inspired so many of them. They said that, we can stand up. We can do it, and we're a majority here. Apartheid, of course, was a very, very brutal system. There were no rights to enforce because they didn't have rights under the system. So just listening to this young man talk about what they went through, how they fought, how watching us inspire them, just totally, wow. It was eye-opening, to say the least, humbling, awe-inspiring, and at one point I just broke down and in tears, started crying. It was very, very moving. But I want to share that story with you also because I think it's important for us to understand, or try to wrap our minds around the fact that people around the world are watching us, and you never know who you are inspiring. So keep that in mind as we continue on our own journeys, whatever they may be. God bless, and stay tuned for the next video I'm about to release that I taped a few days, actually a couple weeks ago, but I'm going to release it right after this one. Anyway, thanks for listening, and God bless. Bye-bye.